Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Bailey Braun, and this week we have a lot to talk about. Today is the winter solstice, so of course the shortest day of the year, but this week we do have a little bit of a change in the forecast, which is always nice for me as a meteorologist because there's something new to talk about. So I'll take you through all of what you can expect this week, but of course I do want to start off and show you just exactly what you can expect for that day length change that we're going to see. Now this is for the first of every month up until April, so starting January 1st our day length in Anchorage is going to be 5 hours and 40 minutes, and then by the time April rolls around we're going to have 13 hours and 24 minutes of daylight, and of course that changes for region to region across Alaska, but take a look at what your day length is going to be. Now, of course, with that, I want to show you your daylight hours for tomorrow and show you the very exciting news that we finally have the plus sign down for that amount of daylight that we're actually going to begin gaining. So rather than having that minus sign to show how much we're losing, we're finally gaining just a little bit of daylight for tomorrow. So tomorrow expect 9 seconds more of daylight rather than what we have been seeing. And for Fairbanks, that's where we're seeing the most amount of daylight gain, which is 16 seconds. So not a whole lot, but of course this is all going to begin to add up, and by the time we know it, we're going to have plenty of daylight per day, which is going to be super nice. But for our weather headlines, of course, our photo from Thomas, and this is in Shishmaref, but with that we have, of course, winter solstice that I already talked about, but with our record low temperatures. We've been on a 2-day streak of these record low temperatures in Juneau. We might even see another record being broken tomorrow for those high temperatures in Anchorage, which is going to be just very cold. That's what you can expect. But snow is incoming for western Alaska, and that's really the biggest change that we're going to see for the state. Now with our Juneau Almanac, high temperatures today reached about 10 degrees, and that tied for the lowest high temperature that we've seen, also 10 degrees set back in 1961, but for our low temperature today, -4 degrees, much closer to that record low temperature at -6 degrees set back in 1955. So that's what you can expect. This is day 3 of some kind of record being tied or broken. The last 2 days we broke our record low temperature for Juneau at -6 degrees for the 19th and -7 degrees for yesterday, which was the 20th. Now for our peak wind gusts, this was a big headline that we had yesterday and just kicking off the weekend, but wind gusts did reach back up into the 70s for the Matanuska Valley. Palmer reached 71 mile per hour winds, and Anchorage reached 55 mile per hour winds. So just getting a little bit windier into Juneau as well, 39 mile per hour wind gusts, but winds are expected to stay fairly strong in Juneau up through tomorrow morning, so brace for some more strong winds moving across the Panhandle. But as we look ahead, high pressure still very strong in Anchorage, just south central in general, as well as very strong in southeast. But a change is going to come for western Alaska, and you can see right there that frontal boundary bringing lots of snow ahead to the western coastline. There is also another change heading into Fairbanks, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. But you can see overnight tonight and into Monday, we're going to see some of that snow pass through the Seward Peninsula, getting some snow accumulation. So that's kind of nice for this holiday week. By looking across the state, we're seeing that cold air, that extreme cold warning in the Panhandle, where they're seeing those temperatures, as I showed you, record low. Not very normal for this time of year, but into western Alaska and the interior, I'll tell you just a little bit more of what you can expect. Now for areas like Nome and the Seward Peninsula, expect this warning. It's already in effect now as of 30 minutes ago, but this is going to stay in effect through tomorrow night. Now this is where we could possibly expect 5 to 10 inches of snow accumulation by tomorrow night going into Tuesday. However, do expect about 1 to 3 inches of snow possible for just the morning hours, and then we might gain just a little bit more snow by tomorrow afternoon. I'll show you that snowfall forecaster in just a second, but gusts will be up to 35 miles per hour and just a little bit north in Kotzebue. We're going to have this winter storm warning in effect from Monday morning through Wednesday morning, with 6 to 10 inches of snow accumulation possible, with gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Now, I think that most of the snow is going to roll in by Monday night, or at least by Tuesday. So that's what you can expect. And for Fairbanks, we're going to see this winter storm watch in effect Tuesday afternoon. So not quite just yet, but by Tuesday afternoon, this will be in effect all the way through Thursday afternoon, with 1 to 3 inches of snow possible for Tuesday afternoon at the earliest. So that's kind of what we're seeing for the interior, and it's kind of nice to see a little bit of a change on the way. But across the Panhandle, still just extreme cold temperatures with wind chill down to -10 to -20 degrees. This is going to expire tomorrow night, but wind gusts in Juneau more specifically will gust up to 65 to 75 miles per hour. Now here's that snowfall forecast that I promised you. We're going to see most of the snow rolling in by Monday afternoon, very early Monday afternoon. So that's kind of what we're expecting to see. Again, that 5 to 10 inches of snow accumulation possible by Tuesday morning as we hit the overnight hours for Monday. Just a little bit of snow forecasted for KTUU, but that'll build just a little bit more by Tuesday. So across the Panhandle, we're still seeing these cold temperatures, highs in single digits, and even Haines seeing that -1 degree high temperature. Now, gusts will still stay a little bit strong across some of these areas, mostly for Juneau, but Skagway and Haines will also see stronger wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour. But really the big story for Southeast, just continued sunny skies and cold temperatures. But a change might come for you towards the end of the week. There is a possibility, and I say that very possibility is the key word, possibility for some change for snow by Friday night. So we'll see if that ends up happening, but to the interior, still expect these mostly sunny skies, very cold temperatures, lows 30 degrees below zero for Fairbanks, but that snow will start to move in for you by Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll show you that 7-day, which I wasn't able to get to during the show today, but I'll show you something interesting that you can see in the 7-day coming up soon. For the North Slope, we are seeing a possibility of that morning snow for Wainwright, with temperatures sitting up into 5 degrees, and then for other areas like Dead Horse and Anaktuvuk Pass, that's where we're seeing temperatures just a little bit closer to 10 degrees below zero. For Western Alaska, this is where we're seeing a lot of these winter storm warnings underway, and snow is in the forecast through most of the region. In areas like Gamble, where temperatures are a little bit warmer, that's where you're going to see more of that mixture of snow and rain. But across the western coastline and just the Seward Peninsula in general, that's where we're seeing these temperatures still cold enough for that snow to fall. So expect those gusts up to 35 miles per hour, snow to last from tomorrow all the way through Tuesday in some areas and Wednesday morning for Kotzebue. Now for the Aleutian Chain, mostly cloudy skies overhead. We're going to see just a little bit of that light rain moving in for Cold Bay, but mostly cloudy skies are kind of in the forecast through this week, at least for the first part of the week heading into the holiday week. So don't expect too much of a change other than those cloudy skies moving in for areas like Adak, Unalaska, and St. Paul as well. Now for South Central, mostly sunny, mostly clear skies. That's what we've been seeing, and I know it's getting annoying and repetitive, but that's really the only change we're seeing, or that little bit of change. Just sunny skies, clear skies, but much colder temperatures dipping down to the negatives in areas like Kenai and Soldotna. Gustier winds in Seward up to 30 miles per hour, but for Valdez, windier gusts continue with 25-mile-per-hour gusts forecasted, not nearly as strong as what we've been seeing this weekend, but just colder temperatures all around, all across South Central, with negatives expected in Wasilla, Palmer, Willow, Talkeetna, and into Anchorage as well. -2 degrees for that high tomorrow. And if we end up reaching that high, that -2 degree high, we will be a record set back in 1980, which was 1 degree for that lowest high temperature. So we'll see if it ends up happening, but we're expecting mostly sunny, mostly clear skies through this week, even through Christmas, which is a little bit disappointing for some, especially if you like a white Christmas like I do. I mean, who doesn't? But overnight lows are definitely going to get a little bit chillier, but then we're going to start to get just slightly warmer for Christmas Eve and Christmas. But for Fairbanks, we are seeing a little bit of that snow in the forecast, mostly for Wednesday and Thursday, but it is nice to have that possibility, especially starting as early as Tuesday night. And you're also going to notice these temperatures very, very cold for Monday, pretty cold Tuesday, and then starting to warm up just a bit more Wednesday and Thursday, finally getting above zero. Hopefully it stays that way and it stays up into the positive temperatures, but that would be very nice. And then towards the weekend, dropping back down to 30 degrees below zero. Now for Juneau, that 7-day, still expecting these partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies through this week, and then heading into Thursday, possibility for some light snowfall, but Friday would be the day that we would see any snowfall. That's kind of the big day to anticipate it, but temperatures are going to start to warm up just a little bit more moving into through the week. So as we get closer to Christmas, much colder or much warmer temperatures, and that's kind of nice, something to look forward to amidst this holiday week. So yeah, just colder temperatures at least to start the work week, and then we might see much warmer temperatures as we get closer to Christmas for areas like Juneau and into Fairbanks, but we just got to get through these next couple of days where we're really going to feel the chilliness. And then for western Alaska, of course, that's where you're going to see potential for snowfall moving in tonight through tomorrow. So it's kind of nice having a little bit of a change in the forecast, something new to talk about instead of just being super repetitive all the time. So that's what you can expect, and with that, I hope everybody has a great Christmas week, or really any holiday that you celebrate. Hope everyone is able to enjoy that, and I will be back not this weekend, but the weekend after that. So you get a little bit of a break from me, and Jackie Purcell will be filling in for me this weekend. So many people get to look forward to that. We love Jackie, but with that, hope everyone has a great night and have a great holiday week.